Hi, second grade. Mrs. Shug again. We're on Unit 3 in our Grade 2 Skills, Lesson 6. Our learning goals for today. Spelling words with the tricky spellings. Letter C for the K sound, and letter C for the S sound. And letter G for both the G and J sounds. As well as the tricky word R. Reading words with O spellings, O space E, O, O-E, and O-A, and then reading Miss Baker and answering text-based questions. Okay, so when you see the letter O in a word, up until this point, we've talked about it sounding like ah, like in hot, odd, mom, mop, sock, and pod. But it can also sound like O, like in the word open. Say that with me, open. Do you hear the O sound? There's 4 different ways that we're going to talk about to make the O sound. O space E, just like the A space E we just finished. Single O, O-E, and O-A. Notice O-E and O-A, those partners are together making the O sound, whereas O space E, they're separated, but still working together to make the single sound. So we have home, no, toe, and goat, tote, hotel, doe, meaning like a female deer, and float. Again, we have our trees to help us organize all of the letter sounds. So for the ah tree, it's always spelled with a single O. Let's read the words together. Cot, top, rod, stop, chop, clock, and rotten. On the O tree, for the O-A spelling, we have coat and road. For the O spelling, we have open and sew. O-E, we have goes and hoe, which is a gardening tool. O space E, poke, and home. And these are just a few examples of the different spellings for the ah and O sounds. Okay, 6.1 activity page for today. It says yes or no. So there's a series of 16 questions for you to read on your own and answer either yes or no. So for example, number 1, can a dog shake its tail? And if you notice, shake and tail have the long A sounds, whereas can has a short A sound. So all of the questions are going to practice the letter sounds and spellings that we've been working on so far. So simply read the question, answer it with a yes or no. For 17 and 18, there's a space for you to ask and write down your own question. .2. So that was 6.1. 6.2. They're given 2 words on each line. So for example, the first one, word number 1 is train. The A sound is made by AI. Circle it. Word number 2, track. The A sound, circle that. And then are the sounds the same? So we have A in train and A in track. A. They're not the same. So the answer is no. However, in words such as rate and rain, both words have the long A sound, so you would write yes. So read word number 1 and word number 2 for each line. Determine if the A spelling is creating the same sound in each word. If yes, write yes. If no, write no. Circling the A sound in the words. Okay, our story for today. We are reading the final story in this section about the spelling bee. Some of the words we have. For the A sounds, AY, we have play and stay. AI, we have explaining, pain and train. A space E, we have flame, make, and baker. This is with a capital B, is someone's name. And a single A, like in paper. Our multi-syllable words, understand, English, Spanish, Latin, myself, explaining, and baker. Okay, and our vocabulary word, champ, which is short for champion. The fastest runner was the champ at the track meet 2 years in a row. Our purpose for reading. We will read carefully to find out how Miss Baker helped make Gail such a good speller. Remember to pay attention to images and captions throughout the story. And if you remember from yesterday's story, Gail said that her love of spelling and her interest in spelling began with Miss Baker in 2nd grade. So we're going to hear more about Miss Baker. Miss Baker. If you look at the picture on the top, you see the teacher, and behind her, that image should look a little familiar. It's one of the sound spelling trees. I was sitting with spelling champ Gail Day. I asked her, "How did this Miss Baker make you into a good speller?" "Well," said Gail, "Miss Baker had a cool way of explaining English spelling. She made a spelling tree." "Spelling trees?" "Yes," said Gail. "Here, I'll make one for you." Gail got a sheet of paper and made a tree. At the top of the next page, you'll see a spelling tree for the A sound, kind of like we've practiced. She pointed at the trunk of the tree and explained, "The trunk stands for a sound, like the sound A as in cake. The branches stand for the spellings for that sound. There's one branch for the words with A space E, spelling like flame and steak. There's one branch for the words that have the A-Y spelling, like play and stay. There's one branch for the words that have the AI spelling, like pain and train, and so on. Get it? Got it." So Miss Baker would make a big spelling tree for a sound. Then we kids would add words to it. When we found words with a sound in them, we would stick the words on the branches of the tree. We would stick all of the words with the AI spellings on this branch. We would stick all of the words with the AY spellings on this branch. I see. And this helped you get better at spelling? Gail nodded. The spelling trees helped us see the patterns and keep track of the spellings. They helped us see which spellings are used a lot and which ones are used less. There were a lot of good spellers in Miss Baker's class. But not all of them went on to win the state spelling bee, I said. Why did you? Gail shrugged. I was good at spelling, but I did not understand why English spelling was so hard. Once I asked Miss Baker why it was so hard. Miss Baker, I said, why are there 5 or 6 spellings for some sounds? That makes no sense. Why isn't there just one spelling for a sound? Miss Baker explained as much as she could. Then she gave me a book on spelling. It was a cool book. It explained how English has taken in lots of spellings from French, Latin, Greek, and Spanish. When I finished that book, Miss Baker gave me a longer book. Then I found the next book by myself. One book sort of led to the next. So that's how I got started. So there's a little bit more information about Gail and her start with spelling after being in Miss Baker's class. Okay, now for our spelling list. We are looking at words with the letter C that have both the k, that make the k sound in some words and also the s sound sometimes. And then with the letter G, sometimes a g and sometimes a j. So for the k, we have carpet. For s, we have face, space, cell, and center. For for g, we have gray. For j, we have page, digit, and germ. And our tricky word for the week is R. Are you going to practice your spelling words? And that is all. Make sure you practice your words and you complete your sheets for today. Have a great day.